All right. What's happening, everyone? I hope you're doing great. I hope you're enjoying your day. I think it's Saturday now, pretty much all over the world. Here in China is 9 p.m. And yes, I'm here waiting for Damir Dzumhur to join me, and super excited for that. I haven't seen him since Shanghai Masters, and we played a lot of times actually in Zhuhai this last year. So it was amazing time, great experiences to have him, like to be part of his trainings. And yeah, I think that was the first time we officially met, and it was just great, to be on court with him, join the warm-ups and trainings, and then cheer for him. And he was just amazing. Like, it was so really special to be part of the whole process, and I was there always cheering for him, and with his team. Maxa was there. I don't know if he will join as well, but yeah, at the moment we are just waiting for him. I prepared some questions, and if you are ready, if you have any questions, you are very welcome to do so as well. And actually, so I want to apologize. We first announced that he will join at 4 p.m. European time or 10 a.m. New York City time. But because I found out that Novak Djokovic will have live with Stanislav Wawrinka at the same time, and then I was thinking, oh my God, that was really bad luck, bad timing. And then I decided to start this live a bit earlier, so it's 1 hour earlier. And now it's 3 p.m. European time and 9 a.m. US time. So I know people in US maybe are sleeping, some of them, it's Saturday. But hopefully, because of the whole situation, there were not too many parties, So yeah, we're just waiting for him, for Damir to join. And yeah, okay, he's here. Brate, čekamo te, treba samo da pošalješ, to, okay, Damir is here, so let's get the party. Wawrinka is going to the Instagram live. No. Halo, čujemo li se?
Tu sam.
Gde si, legendo, šampion?
Kako si?
Evo, odlično. Baš sam, imao sam dan onako naporan, ovdje je skoro svaki dan, u tempu, što se kaže, pošto je, ovdje su krenuli trenizi i sve to, nego kako je tamo kod vas, kakva je situacija, kako se ti snalaziš? Hoćemo na engleskom, zbog ovih, a? Jel ti je malo...
Može, naravno.
Okay.
Znam engleski, znam.
So we started just talking a little bit in Serbian, and then I just realized that there are going to be international people, so we can switch to English. But if there is anybody with some Serbian questions, Damir is happy to answer in Serbian, Bosnian, Croatian, whatever. It's the same language.
It's the same language.
Yeah. So I really want to just say thank you so much, Damir Dzumhur, for joining, and it's really an honor. And for all of you, I'm sure most of you know who this guy is, but just to say that he's currently #1 Bosnian player, and the highest ranking was number 23 in the world, right? The highest ATP ranking, so unbelievable level. And I witnessed that. I played with him, trained, and I watched his matches live from the side court. I was so impressed. It's unbelievable. And also, like, you won 3 ATP titles, right, in your career?
Yes.
And was in 2017 and 18, something like
that,
right?
2017 too, and then in 2018 one. Yeah, thanks for introducing me that way, a little bit too much.
Yeah, I mean, that's at least that you can say. And also #3 in juniors, right? At the ITF, #3 in the world. So, guys, this guy, it's really special. And like, really looking forward to see, like, when the ATP restarts, to see where is your career taking you next. I'm sure, like, so many things ahead,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's gonna be strange for all the players, starting like all over, But I'm really pretty much confident that it's gonna be good. I started playing very good recently. It's unfortunate for me that we had to stop the season, but I'm keep practicing. I'm keep working. I'm not one of the guys who said, okay, we're not gonna have tennis until August, probably, maybe even more. Who knows when it's gonna start? So I'm not gonna do much. I know many players didn't hold a racket for a month and a half already.
Wow.
But I've been practicing. If I skip 1 or 2 days in a week, that's like my maximum. I'm just that kind of guy that
Wow.
I'm not able to really just sit and be and start doing nothing. I have to practice. I have to work on my body. I have to work fitness. So I'm keeping up good, so far.
That's amazing. Great to hear. So on that note, I wanted to ask you, because I think this is the trickiest part, like the most difficult part, how to plan this period, because it's so uncertain, right? Nobody really knows when it will restart. So how you like how you plan, like in terms of how intense you go with the trainings, or you just kind of do your like regular thing, you know, like not thinking about, oh, it's gonna start in 4 months. Why would I go hard now? Maybe now I should go easier. Like this is so difficult. For me, this is the most trickiest part now, how to prepare, how to keep going. So what's
Yeah.
your strategy there?
It's really tough to plan something because we are not certain about when the tournaments are going to start. But what and what you can do is working on your weak points, on your weak sides. And
Okay.
this is definitely a period because with tennis players we don't have much free time. We don't have a time to work on our weaknesses a lot, because it's changing a lot the game, So this is the period when you have a lot of time to change your game, to try to improve your game, to try to do on your weaknesses, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm working a lot on my forehand. The forehand is the shot where you can every player can really improve a lot. And if you see all the best guys, they have crazy good forehands. Even Novak Djokovic, who's as a young guy, he had always great backhand, but he improved his forehand a lot. He improved his serve a lot, and that's what I'm working, of course. I think also physique is another thing that you can improve a lot. Everybody knows that I'm fast, but I'm trying to build up my strength a little bit, but not too much because I like being fast on the court, I like being light on the court. So yeah, definitely working on some things that you are not able to work through the season or through the whole career maybe. So this is the right time to start working on something that you think you are missing in your game.
Yeah, totally agree. I was doing, I think, some podcast or something, and the topic I was kind of covering is exactly like I was kind of recommending the coaches and players. Now is the period if you want to also like change some technique, like maybe for the players who
Definitely.
are going
Yes.
now, there are no tournaments, there are no matches, and it's the longest period, and it's kind of similar, right? Like you're working on a weakness, so you're gonna do some maybe different things, like in different approach. Yeah, that's great. Great strategy. What do you miss the most about tennis and from the tournaments? Like what's some like specific thing you missed, or just in general everything, right?
Yeah, tennis players, we are traveling a lot, and we are at mostly 2 weeks at the same place, sometimes at home or maybe at the Grand Slam, but you are always moving, traveling a lot. And now we are not traveling, we are at one place for a long time, and this is like the most difficult part for me, but also for many players. I know I've been talking to many players, and it's just tough for us to stay at one place, to be at one place. So definitely missing the traveling, really. I thought I would never say that I'm missing traveling, packing and everything, but it's our kind of life, it's our lifestyle, and we are definitely missing those traveling, the tournaments, that adrenaline of playing the tournaments. When I go on a practice, I still have really a lot of motivation for practicing. I know it's not easy to find motivation now for practice, but I'm doing it through some other things, you know, playing with some guys with different kind of points, you know, just to entertain and just to keep that motivation. But definitely that adrenaline that you get in a match, you cannot get that in practice.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I agree. I think that makes total sense.
Yeah.
I'm just reading. There's many comments. I don't know if you read. If you want to answer
Yes,
some of these.
I've read one comment. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
My PR is asking me. He actually told me to shave. Like, please shave your beard. It's really long, I know, but as you know, guys, we are in a full quarantine for 4 days now, and then we've been already in quarantine for 3 or 4 days. So I'm not really having a lot of time, and I don't want to do it myself because it's not gonna look good. So I better wait for some free time to get some barber. Otherwise, it's gonna be awful.
We're kind of opposite. I had a little bit longer hair, and I just shaved my beard, so it's like opposite.
I can only trim my beard. I don't want to shave my beard. That's like
Okay.
part of me. So
Yeah.
I can definitely. I'm gonna do probably a haircut today by myself because I'm gonna do it like very short. We'll see how it's gonna look. But beard, I don't want to mess up with that.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. Look, we have some question. I think from your countrymen. They ask you if you could, ćeš na našem ili we can translate in English.
We can talk in English and then I can answer also in Bosnian, whatever.
Yeah. So they ask you if you could change, ako bi mogao promijeniti jedan rezultat u karijeri, koji bi promijenio? Ovaj ti jedan pitao, si vidio?
Yeah. So one of the results that I could change, which result would it be? Definitely, I have two tournaments that I'm really like, thinking of, and that I'm not happy with how it ended. And both of the tournaments are Grand Slam tournaments. Grand Slam tournaments are what we are playing for, really. One of the matches was at the Roland Garros against Sasha Zverev, where I lost 7-5 in the fifth set. It was the third round. I was serving for a match in the fourth set. I was serving for a match in the fifth set on 5-4 both times, and I had a match point on his serve on 5-4 in a fifth set. So that is definitely like the toughest loss for me. Even though it was a great match, I played a good match. But if I could change, that would be. And then Wimbledon, second round. The same year, I lost 5 sets to Ernest Gubis, but I was leading up by set and the 2 breaks up in the second set, and I lost the second set. So there are 2 results on the Grand Slams that I would change. I think, as I said, the Grand Slams are what we are playing for. So if you want to change something in terms of results, then it's Grand Slams.
Wow. That just sounds like you said, it can be painful, and I can totally understand. But playing those 5 sets, I mean, I've never played those tournaments and those matches. I cannot know, but I can imagine how exhausted you get, and then when you get so close, what would be your mindset after that match? Obviously, it's so tough, but how do you go over that? How do you kind of sort of forget and move on? It's just time. Is it just time, or there is something else?
For me, it's just time. It's definitely the most painful part of tennis, like losing in a close 5 setter, because you spend so much energy, more than the other tournaments, and you lost. And after that, I feel really devastated for the whole day, and the next day I'm just thinking so much about it. But for me, it's just time. After 2 days, I'm gonna be a new person. I'm gonna start working again. Trying to improve what I've missed in that match. But yeah, definitely for me, it's time, and you gotta have to be mentally so hard on yourself, and you gotta be strong mentally.
I think, yeah, I mean, I think this just shows that all of us, we are human. So this is like for every single player out there, like including Roger and like all this, like, you know, the best, and you know, you belong to the group. I mean, I see you there. So for all of you guys, it's just being human. Like, I don't think there is a secret where you can just recover immediately after match. It's gonna be tough for everybody, right?
Yeah.
But that's the part of the sport. And then
Right.
when you win those matches, then you kind of forget about the previous like pains that you had, right? Like
True.
when you win some of those tough matches, then it's
as soon as you win one match, you forget about the bad things.
yeah. I know. That's amazing. Okay, have you read some other questions? There were many, but I was like just focusing on the talk. I mean, I have many here, so I wanted to ask you, have you got some new habits during this period? Because I just want to like a little bit talk about this. Like, it's very special time. So, you know, you're probably not gonna have your regular days, you know, like, so have you adapted some new habits? Like, because you spend obviously during the weekends more time at home. Have you, like, I don't know, started reading more or doing some things that you didn't do before? Or what would be the most positive thing about this period, you know, for you?
Yeah. Definitely the most positive thing about this period is something that doesn't have any relations with tennis. It's about cooking.
Oh, right, nice.
Yeah. I mean, some of you guys, you could see on Instagram that I've been posting on my stories what I've been cooking, and I really I was not sure if I was able to do anything in the kitchen, and then you know, in together connecting with my mother, she told me how to do some things, what to do. So I started cooking, and I liked it really. It kills a lot of time, but it gives you a lot of joy, and I liked it. I didn't know that I liked it, but yeah, when I have time, I like doing it, and I'm happy that you know, I can say I can cook something. That's really like the most positive thing right now for me in this period.
That's great. That's awesome. I can, but cannot really relate to that. I'm not the best in kitchen, and I think you need to have like a patience for that, you know.
Definitely,
But,
definitely.
and time, yeah. Once you have time, I think it goes together. So that's good.
When it's a regular period, no chance. I don't have time.
Yeah. If you stuck with time, then it's. Yeah. I had some like kind of different questions, so. I would like to ask you those because for me, like I also played myself, you know, like at this futures level and challengers and before. So how about let's say like some of those big matches? So before the match, like some finals or like the biggest matches of your career at that moment, how do you sleep like the night before? Do you have problems with this, like going to bed or like getting rest, or it's just never an issue for you?
No, I didn't have, you know, sometimes maybe it would take a little longer before I get to sleep, but usually no, you know. I know some players that are really like before a big match or before playing a big guy, they have trouble sleeping, they wake up in the night, they walk, you know, thinking about the match. But I'm pretty much good with it. You know, sometimes when you wake up, you definitely think maybe too much before the match. What's gonna happen? How to play? You know, you are not really sure, but sleeping, I'm okay. I never have problems with sleeping. So as soon as I go to my bed, I get asleep in seconds.
I think that's super important. I mean, if you don't have problems with that, because you know, feeling fresh in the morning, feeling fresh on the match day, it's like
for me, getting a good sleep is like half job done.
Wow, that's good. That's great. And okay, so I don't know if there's some question like okay.
Ben said just that Benoit said that he can't sleep before big matches, but I'm not sure that he cannot sleep because of that thing.
It's a different reason, huh? Different reason.
Benoit, I think it's different reason.
Okay, maybe we don't go into details here, but
no, we don't go.
We can leave this for imagination for the some of the viewers here. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like to ask you again some things from a, like a player's perspective, and maybe if you know your answer can also bring some value for like the viewers, because I know there's a lot of problems with performing like on the highest level in the matches. You know, there's the most common issue, like or like the kind of complaint I'm getting, or like there are people asking me like how to perform on your best, you know, in the match. So I wanted to ask, is there something or like some ritual or something that helps you to relax, or in those biggest points, you know, like when you're playing that match and it's like tie break and it's like changing turning points, is there something for you like that you always do, or it's just very natural, you don't think too much, you don't have any special little things, or you know, how do you approach those situations?
Look, I think every player has some kind of rituals, but that rituals are more natural going now. You know, more automatically going from your brain. It's not that you have to think about that to do. It's like a ritual, but it goes very naturally and very automatically. So, for example, I don't know if it's a longer point, you get bigger breaths, you know, like deeper. You're gonna maybe wait a little bit more. You're gonna take a towel, you know, something. It depends from a player to player. I'm a guy who likes, for example, you know, to take a deep breath before a longer point, to try to relax my hand, you know. So every player has something different, and it is the rituals definitely, but it's something that goes automatically.
Okay. I just want to add here, because I watched quite a few matches of yours, you know. So I could say maybe one of the rituals you have is like to talk, you know, during like between the points, a little bit like with yourself or with some people there. Like I think it also helps you to get in some place.
True.
But
True.
sometimes it's kind of releasing some anger also.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're being like a bit sarcastic there with some comments, you know. But I
Yeah.
guess this also it's
I
part of your thing, you know, commenting
definitely.
on the player
I
of the
try
opponent, you
to
know.
release the stress, you know, and I like when I'm not when I have somebody to tell. Even it can be a positive or negative, but just to release my stress, you know. Also, a big ritual for me when I'm serving and when it's very important points, I'm trying to get the same ball that I won the point, or so there are many things, you know, in a match that I'm.
You have to talk with everybody.
Okay. Thanks, Bernard. I especially like to talk to you when I'm playing. Oh, but
Or with
wait. He said to me something or what? I mean,
yeah. Yeah, he also talks, but also with referee, right? You also like to talk with the referees. I think also he does
oh,
the same.
I don't like. Oh, I don't like when it's not fair thing. I'm like very tough on it, and when somebody's not fair, I'm just getting crazy. I can get really crazy.
Okay, by the way, because Benoit is here, have you played against him? What's your record against Benoit?
Oh
How
yeah,
do
we played last year in Paris at the end of the year in Masters, and I had it was I think, I'm not sure, like 7-5, 6-3, or six something like that, 6-4, something like that. I'm not really sure about the score. Yeah, he won. But I
okay.
I remember I had like 9 or 10 break points, and out of those 10 or 9 break points, he made 7 or 8 aces. He was serving sick that match. He was playing good. He was playing good in important points, and you know he was doing those bullshits with between the between the legs, the hot dogs, and everything. But he's really tough opponent to play, I have to say. Even
Like
though I'm not just saying this because he's listening. Everybody is gonna say that he's tough because you never know what you can expect from him. He's
it's
he's
not
crazy guy,
predictable. Yeah,
crazy guy.
crazy. Yeah, on and off the court is like similar, huh?
Oh, very similar, very similar.
But that would be definitely like very interesting match to watch. I would like to watch two of you guys play.
It,
And
it, it, wa- it was an interesting match, yeah.
okay, uh, if you had to change one rule in tennis, do you have any idea what rule would you change and why? Did you ever think about this? or
Um,
the game is fine?
you're welcome, Benoit. I'm not really sure. I didn't think about that change in rules. I'm leaving that to the persons that are working for it. I'm not really sure what that
Okay.
would be. Um, no, I didn't really think. Didn't.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going through some questions. I have many, but again, if somebody is asking there, you're welcome to.
I've seen a lot of questions about Roger, Rafa, Djokovic. I played all of three guys, and definitely what I can say is like many questions about what is difference between three of them, what is the toughest opponent, and this. Um, I played Rafa on hard court and on a clay. I've got that win in Miami. Then he beat me. He beat me in Australian Open and Rome. And definitely the toughest, I would say, toughest opponent that was Rafa on clay. Rafa on
Wow.
clay was just really tough to play. Then Roger on grass. I played Roger Wimbledon. It was really bad feeling playing him on grass first match. It was just tough to do anything you want. Plus he won in 7 times that year. Before that year, 7 times Wimbledon. He feels like home. The crowd is just behind him, and it was awful for me to play at that year's Wimbledon, and then playing Djokovic any surface, but especially hardcore for me is tough. So I would say Rafa on clay, Roger on grass, and Djokovic on hard. It's really tough to play. I haven't seen what people leaving the court at the end of the set for 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. That also happens. Well, what you just said, and you mentioned those top three guys. Yeah, I think it's very special when you play against like those like probably best of all times. And what's your mindset when you go into those matches? Like, do you obviously you like have a lot of respect? Like, I think every player respects those guys, but do you still have the belief that you can win the match? Like,
Yeah,
do
yeah.
you?
I would say before that match against Rafa in Miami, I would, you must have respect to those guys. They're the best guys ever in tennis history, one of the best guys in ever in history. So you gotta have respect. But I was having too much respect. I was just going on the court, not to embarrass myself. That was way before 2015 and 2014, I would say. And
Okay.
that's the wrong mindset. Even if you think that you cannot win against them, you gotta go on the court with that kind of mindset. And once I changed that, the first time I felt it with Rafa in Miami, he wasn't in a good shape that year, especially that swing US Indian Wells in Miami, and I felt that, I felt that, and I wasn't afraid that much. So that's why I kind of was holding in a match, and he retired in the third set after 3-0. But then the tournament after in Monte Carlo, I've beaten Berdych. Then next year in Dubai, I've beaten first time Stan Wawrinka. So
Wow.
I had some.
Open the doors, right?
Yeah, I've
The
opened the
switch.
doors with that kind of match. Yeah.
Wow.
And even now, when I played Roger in US Open last year, I had a good match. I played really good against Roger, but I had the mindset that I go on court to try to win. Everybody knows that he's a huge favorite. That I have a very small chances, but if you go on a court with a white flag, there is no chance you can do anything.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of players out there who are struggling with this, including myself as well. I had so many matches, like well, let's say for the futures tournament, like you win maybe the first round, and then usually you run into like some seeded player. Like
Yeah.
for me at that point, it's like much higher ranked player, like 200-300 ATP, and of course you have this respect, and then like you said, you enter the match, you don't want to lose like too easy, you just want to give some like make a fight. But
Right.
is there something specific? How do you make that switch? You explained that you had that match, but is there something that you can do like off court or like prepare for that match, or is just you try to convince yourself and try to believe, or is there like you have to you talk to some like other players maybe to share your experience? You know, like how do you get to that point where you can switch that and actually really believe? You know, like,
Yeah, it's about your self-belief. It's about self-belief and how confident you feel at that moment. It's not easy to switch to that point. Also
it
talking.
happens by time. You need to
Yes,
play more.
yes.
More
You
of
need
this.
you need some more time. Somebody gets it before, somebody later. But also talking to your coach, talking to the persons close to you, getting that self-confidence. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks. That's really like it's good to hear because I also believe that many players and they need some kind of advice like this. Okay.
I've seen this question. I would like to answer. It's easy to answer. Secret of success: hard work.
Okay.
Hard work.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very simple, right? Very simple.
I mean, many things beside hard work, but the hard work is the most important thing, and there is nothing without it.
Okay. I have this one. On the tough day, right? Let's say it's a super tough day, like you don't have so much energy or motivation. Like what keeps you going? What's your biggest like drive inside or motivation? Where you find that like strength to keep going? Like on the most toughest day, maybe after tournament or whatever, when you lost or you're super tired, but you still have to train. You know, where do you find what's your biggest motivation?
Well, definitely, as we were talking about tough loss, I don't know, 5-setter loss, you get the day off. You're trying to get mindset to the right position again, and then next day is not gonna be easy to practice. It's really tough to practice, but you gotta overcome that. You have to overcome. Every practice is important, and every Benoit, I just have to laugh. Thank. Well, some guys can play good without practice, and one of them is Benoit Paire. Huge talent. For him, it's not too much about practice, but it's about huge amount of talent. I mean, but even with that talent, he was working. I'm sure he was working hard, and he's still doing that. He's still working hard. He just doesn't want to say that. We all have to hard work, really. So yeah, you gotta put your mindset and overcome that. Because then in tennis, one good thing is that every week you have a chance. You have another chance. You have another chance, and once you feel really good, and once you find the best way of yourself, you are going to play good. So every week you play a tournament, it's another chance.
Yeah, I think that's the good way. I mean, the best way to see that, because if you just dwell on what happened, and it's tough, but then you always say it's what my dad always told me this. After I would lose a match, so I would say this in Serbian: "Ima dana za Megdana." No, bit će dana za Megdana. But it's like there will be plenty of battles, to go for. But I somehow didn't like this advice. It's because I was suffering in that moment. But as you said, you just look ahead for.
If somebody tells me that after the match I lost, I would just send him like, "Go away, man, please." But yeah.
It's annoying.
The day after, you realize.
It's true. Yeah. Okay. Last time you treated yourself after some big result or win, and what was that? Like, how did you treat yourself? If you do it, I'm sure like some players.
When I was younger, I would always say, okay, if I make a good result at this tournament, I'm going to buy something for myself. I'm gonna buy, for example, when I started playing main draw Grand Slams, I said if I make good result at Grand Slam, I'm gonna buy a new car. I'm gonna buy something. I don't know. I'm gonna buy a flat. I'm gonna buy a house. Something. You have to find something that inspires you. It's not always about money. It's not always about things that you can buy. But I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
So you have to find something that inspires you always.
So what was the last thing you did? Like last time you treated yourself? If you want to share.
I'm not really
Okay.
sure what I stopped I stopped doing, because if I continue treated, I would have 10 cars in my garage.
Okay.
But yeah, actually, I said to myself after I won tournament in Antalya. After Antalya, I won a tournament and I had to fly straight to London, so I didn't have time to go out. But I wanted really to go out with my friends and everything. So once I finished Wimbledon, yeah, I went back home and I had a good night out.
Nice. Okay, that's fair enough.
Okay, well, my coach joined and he said, everybody talks about my beard. Okay, guys, I'm gonna trim it. It's all right. Next live video we do, I'm gonna be okay. And Benoit said, I was reading, I'm sure it happened to you. You play a very bad first round, and the day after your best tennis. Yeah, that's true. It happens so many times that somehow you overcome that. But you know, even if, I think the best wins are when you're not playing good, but you find a way to win. And for me, that's like the best feeling, because you somehow find a way to win a match with not that good tennis, and that
winning ugly.
is why that is some
It's
of
here.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's
the
just winning
big
with
guys.
this. Yeah.
It's not that the big guys are always playing good. It's not that Benoit is always playing good, but you know, somehow you find a way to win a match, and that is the most important. It's easier. It's easier to win definitely when you play good. That's true. Yeah. But you are not always able to play good.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Or like you said, so like he also makes it like he wins when he's not playing good. I said he gets lucky, you know, sometimes.
You know what? I think you know, you can get lucky once, but 2, 3 times, 4 times, it's something you know how to do, and
yeah,
he knows it.
That's good. Of course. All right. So what about this? Going back to your junior times, like is there anything or one thing that you would change about your trainings, or about that, how you were like growing up as a junior, getting ready for the future, like for the men's tennis? Is there something in your game that, or in your trainings, like you would focus on something more, or you think everything was like ideal?
No, you know, I was my father was my coach since I started tennis, and then I was just following what he was working with me, and I was happy with it, because he was really working hard to make me a good player, and I think that's that was really the good way. And this time I can't say, because if there was no him, I don't think so. I would be a professional tennis player, and professional tennis player with some success, definitely.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing. I don't think many players could say that. You know, I mean,
I was junior number 3. I won a European Championship under 18. I got that bronze medal on Youth Olympic Games, the first ones that was held. I can't say that I could change something too much. You know, I started with a future level, very good. First year I came to 300. You know, I was going always step by step, and that was my way. I never had a chance, you know, to play a big tournament when I was 19 or 20. But you know, with the smaller steps, I came to what was one of my dreams.
Was there one moment that you can say that's when you realized and accepted that you belong over there? I think I asked you this in
sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't hear.
Yeah. So what was there? Can you like say there was one moment in your career when you realized and accepted that you belong to top 30, top, you know,
to the world top players.
Definitely after
Which,
after that, the first final of ATP when I played in Winston-Salem in 2017, you know, I was, I said to myself, yeah, I belong to top 50. This is really the evidence that I should be there. But then when I won the first ATP title, and especially the second one, I realized, okay, this is a result to you know, to say that I belong really to where I am. You know, it's not just lucky. You can be lucky, as I said once, but not 2 or 3 times. So yeah, that's the point when I realized that I belong to where I was at that time.
so are you saying that you need to get to that level to win the ATP 250, and then you realize you're like belong there? For me, it's already like, wow, that's already so high. Like I was expecting somewhere below, like when you're like fighting through these futures and challengers, or that's probably still too far.
I needed so much time to you know, to get to my head that I'm a good player. You know, I was always I'm a player who needs a little bit more self-confidence, and many people around me know that. So I need very good results to show to myself, to build my self-confidence, to show myself that I belong there, you know. So once I remember I was playing very good, and then straight after one first round, I was so down, and I said, oh, I was just lucky. It's not what, I'm not belonging here. So I'm always fighting in my head with that question. Do I really belong there? Did I belong there? That was a good question from you, yeah. Okay. I'm a one who needs a big result and a lot of confidence, self-belief to really understand that I belong where I am at that point.
Okay, that's a great answer. And something that can also be related to this. I think I don't know where I found this out, maybe through some research, and definitely it was experts, you know, I think it's sports or whatever, that they said, like, in order to be at your very best, you need to be who you truly are. So like it's the same on the tennis court, right? Like when you're playing a match, like I really believe, and when I watch different players, you really need to be yourself out there without thinking like about different things, like being obsessed with, like, I don't know who's watching, like being distracted. You need to be your true self, you know, and then you are getting into that zone, right? Nothing really, you don't care about anything else. You're just in a match. I don't know if you can really understand the question, but
yes,
the point is, like,
yes.
So you need to be who you truly are, and then the question is, who are you? Like who is Damir Dzumhur actually? Like, you know, what makes you who you are when you're on court, and that gives you like to play your best. If you can answer this, it's a little bit like philosophical.
You know, but when I play, I don't think too much about who I am, because, you know, and especially I would say ranking wise, for me it really doesn't matter. In tennis is very close game, and you can be 30 in the world, you can play 100 120, and still you can lose to him. So you just have to play your game, and that's who you are. Your game on the court is showing who you are really. You don't have to impress anybody on the stands to show that you are a good player. You have to play your game, whatever it is, and that's the most important. You have to keep your game.
Yeah. Okay, that's amazing. As always, like really giving so much value here. I really appreciate that. Have you seen some questions there?
Yeah, I've seen one question from somebody asking on our language, when is the best year to start practicing tennis, the kids. So I would say I started at the age of 5.5, and I would say 5 and 6 is the best age. I think you agree with me. It's the best age for kids to start tennis. I think before 5 is too early. 5, 6 to 7 years, then that's the best time, definitely. That's when the kids can learn the fastest way, the most, I think.
and not get too bored, right? If they start too
Right,
early,
right.
and maybe they still don't understand and they get bored. And I think it's important to always make it super fun. You know, that beginning, it should be just about having fun, not like forcing kids anything. And yeah. And okay, so by the way, that should be one of the first questions I'm gonna ask you, like why you started playing. Like now you said when you picked up the racket, so you were 5'6", and why? How did that happen?
So my father already had a tennis club. He was holding. He was one of the owners of the tennis club. He had his own tennis club, and so I was born in 1992. It was a wartime until 1996, but still at that age of 1996, when I was still 3 years old, you know, I started going with my grandmother to tennis courts to see my father, you know, and I was holding a racket, you know, holding a balls, and it's just something that I loved. I spent so much time on the court without. I was the one, you know. I would say to my grandmother, "I want to go to tennis court. I want to go to tennis court," and that's how it started, you know. When I got you know, a little older, when I was 5.5, my father thought it's the time I can start practicing tennis. You know, without anybody pushing me to do it, I was the one who wanted it so much. And since that time, and through so many years, I never thought that it was a bad decision.
Who was your first idol? Like when you were at this age, like when you're like starting and then looking up to some players, were there some players at your club, or you even knew like some, like, you know, worldwide famous players? Is there some idol you were
I was looking at the worldwide famous tennis players, and when I was really young, it was a Pat Rafter, then Carlos Moya, totally different kind of players, but with some of their parts of the games, I liked watching them. And then once Roger Federer came to a big stage, it was him. It was him, and I admired what he was doing, and the way he was playing and the way he's still playing.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, so yeah, have you seen some other questions? I know, like we like talked about how long to stay. I really don't want to like keep it so long. Like I could go like for a long time. Maybe I have just a few more like quick questions, like without long answers. It's just like one word, like, so we can go through that quick. Like it's very quick, and then like if you see one more question like to answer there, I think it's fine. Like I really, and it's
okay.
I've seen one
question. I've seen one question. I just want to answer that. Who are your best friends on tour?
Okay.
Best friends on tour. I have really a lot of good friends on tour, and I'm happy that I can say that. Definitely guys from Balkan, Filip Krajinovic, Dusan Lajovic, Aljaž Bedene, also as you could see, Benoit Paire is one of my very good friends. So there are really many guys that I can say I'm good on with the tour, and happy to say the Borna Čorić as well, my very good friend. So it's very important that we players from Balkan, we stick together, and that is the most important thing. I'm also not the only player that was in top 100 in from Bosnia. There was also Mirza Basic, and I was really very happy when I had the chance to travel with him, to go together to tournaments, because we are playing together Davis Cup. We started at the same age together with my father, so we know each other since I was 5 years old. So I think it is very important for us to have some friends on tour, and I'm really happy to say, if I forgot somebody, I don't wanna, I'm sorry, but you know, Jere is also there. I have so many friends. Peja Krstin, not only guys in top 100. It's not just about that. Danilo Petrovic. I have really a lot of friends, and I'm happy, and I hope that also they can say that I'm a good friend to them.
How about girls? You have good like girls, like girlfriends?
I can say that I'm very good with Danka Kovinic. We also know each other since long time. and she's really great. Also tennis player, but such a good person. And I know her brothers, I know her mother, her family. So I'm very good with Danka Kovinic. Kristina Mladenovic, I'm very good also friend with her brother Luka. You know, that's the mostly people from that are having that are from Balkan. Of course, she's playing for France, but well, she's coming from Serbia.
Okay, cool. So, can we go through these quick questions? Like
we go.
Okay. So,
no tough questions, please.
I give you a couple of seconds to answer. Okay.
Okay.
For each question. Who's your favorite player to play against?
Okay, now I have a question for you. Like, to play that I feel that I can win, or?
Yeah, you can choose. Like, who do you like to play against? Yeah, or somebody who is, it can be also your friend, you know, or whatever, or that you feel comfortable. Yeah, it can be
I
that way.
I don't like playing with friends, but
okay.
I know Stan Wawrinka is going soon live with Djokovic,
Yeah.
I guess, right?
Yeah, so we will finish soon. We will finish.
But Stan is the guy that I like to play, and we played some really good matches this year at the Australian Open as well.
Wow. Okay. How many times would it take you to hit tennis ball with a serve, like tennis ball targets? If you put it as a target, how many tries do you think?
Depends where is it. I like serving.
Your favorite target.
My favorite position would be T on a edge side, on left side, so on the edge side. And I don't need many balls. I don't need many balls for that. Okay. For that target, I don't need many. I can do maybe in 3 balls. Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. Your favorite mini tennis game?
Oh, my favorite mini tennis game is a game, doubles game, two against two. You toss the ball from a service line, and the first ball, so the toss has to be over the service line. The other guys, they are both behind the service line. They cannot enter in front. Once they hit the volley, you are able to do everything. You can hit strong, you can hit hard, you can do lobs, whatever you want. But it's just important that the serve has to go the service line, over service line, and the first shot has to be behind the service line. The rest, it's totally free, and I like it, and I'm playing it every day.
That's more like a doubles drill, right?
Doubles. That's also with the singles. You can play on half court. You toss the ball and you play. You can either play singles only or with doubles.
Half court, yeah.
Yes, half court. Yeah. I like that game, and I'm very good at it.
Okay, maybe you can answer this question, and then we go through like what the most toughest match in career in our language. They ask you. Toughest match in career.
Toughest match.
Probably one of the like 5 sets.
I mentioned the 5 sets against Zverev. The toughest one in that wise that I lost. That was definitely a match against Zverev. But the toughest to play was Rafa in Rome or Federer in Wimbledon.
Okay, cool.